Let's get it on!
Sprawl and brawl, ground and pound. Get ready for an MMA showdown. Now, the ultimate Octagon Insider, Sean and Tristan Ducross.
What's up, everybody? We are the Ducross Brothers Sports Words. I'm Tristan Ducross. On my side, as always, is my partner, Grom, the one and only Sean Ducross. Sean, what an incredible show that we have on tap for everybody today. Finally, we'll get everything dialed in right for fight. We'll get our official start date for fight, so we're looking forward to that. I know we made the announcement, but the holidays and it being 2020 kind of set everything back a little bit, but make no mistake about it, your boys will be on fight, so that's something to look forward to. In the meantime, yeah, Sean, crazy, right? For what's going on in the combat sports world. Where do you want to start, you know? Because we got right around the corner on Saturday. We do have what is it called? UFC 246, Conor McGregor, Donald Cerrone. I'm kind of interested in hearing the press conference of that because I want to see, is Donald Cerrone going to show up and be a character, or is he going to kind of put pause on that and not allow Conor McGregor to get underneath his skin? Because we know Conor McGregor is going to talk, right? But then we also have a couple little tidbits, like right down here. Antonio Brown, Logan Paul. All I got to say about that is,
Dummy, yeah.
that's for Antonio Brown. He needs money.
But you know what, Tristan? That'll get to the later end of the show. Let's talk to the big meat. The big portion of this show is going to be UFC 246, Conor McGregor versus Cowboy Cerrone. Those were just the tip of the icebergs as what we'll be talking about on today's show. But Conor McGregor returns this Saturday and takes on Cowboy Cerrone in what is probably the matchup, the most anticipated matchup, but yet we're not hearing anything relatively from Donald Cerrone in terms of them promoting Donald Cerrone. All we keep hearing about is Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor heading into this finally says that he kind of feels reinvigorated, right? Feels like that this is his time again. 2020 is his time. Now, I get it. He says that when he was fighting Khabib, it wasn't himself. He wasn't exactly the Conor that everybody thought he was going to be. I get that. Money, fame, limelight, right, Sean? It all of a sudden kind of gets people buying into it, right? So, again, we are talking about Conor McGregor, Donald Cerrone. Conor McGregor says he's going to make $80 million on this fight. Is that realistic?
Time
maybe.
will tell.
Exactly. And if it is $80 million, Donald Cerrone's like, dude, kick me something.
Kick it over to my style. And that was the thing, is like, he's talking about, Conor McGregor is talking about making 80 mil, 50 mil. Like the last fight he made 50 mil. Then like he's going to make 80 mil off of this. And Donald Cerrone was funny because he's like, good for him. That must mean we did something right. And if he wants to pass me some of that grease, that would be cool. So he's having fun in light of the situation, and he's enjoying the opportunity of him to be on the grandest stage and make the most money possible. And it was interesting in his interview on ESPN, Donald Cerrone's, not Ariel Helwani's yet with Conor McGregor, but Donald Cerrone, and he was talking about, he was asked a question, are you going to take down Conor McGregor? Are you going to do that? And he sat back and he's like, yeah, that's a question that I get asked a lot. Am I going to stand there and trade with Conor McGregor, or am I going to take him down? And in that moment, he's like, that's a question that I would like to be answered. But then at the same time, why? I want to see if I could take his punch on my chin. I want to see if he could take my head kick. There's a lot of questions that could be answered in this moment. Does Conor McGregor still have it? Does Conor McGregor still have that hunger side in him? Can Donald Cerrone still take a shot from what is perceived as the best striker in the division? There's a lot of what ifs and possibilities in this fight that a lot of people don't necessarily understand. It's just like there's a lot to lose in this fight for both parties.
See, there is a complete disconnect from the narrative of this fight, because one of the issues that I see, Sean, is that you say that there's a lot to lose for both men, hands down, because I'm worried about Donald Cerrone's mindset, even though he looks really calm right now, because Donald Cerrone, Sean's been knocked out multiple times in his last couple fights.
Absolutely.
So how ready is his mind?
And that is going to be the question
And if you lose, where do you go? Because he fought Tony Ferguson, and I wouldn't necessarily say he couldn't cut it. But he didn't show up like the Donald Cerrone we all thought would, right? So then you fast forward to this, another big fight under the bright lights of the MGM Grand. What Donald Cerrone is going to show up for this fight? The guy that has 50 professional fights, just another fight? Or is he going to be that big guy that finally could take that monkey off his back? Those are the questions that multiple people are going to have to ask. Donald Cerrone is going to have to ask himself when he steps inside that cage. Then you look at Conor McGregor. 200 and something days this guy hasn't fought. Rust is real in combat sports. Is it real enough for Conor McGregor to see something completely different and willing enough to go in there and do what he needs to do to secure the bag and procure the win?
And you know, they keep saying that this is the best Conor McGregor they've seen. His coach said that.
Didn't have to cut.
But at the same time, Tristan, the thing that boggles my mind is like when you listen to that Ariel Helwani interview, and one thing he said is that going into the Habib fight was that he drank too much. He drank heavily. He hasn't had a drink in months. How much of that do you believe to be accurate?
I almost believe 100% of anything that comes out of Conor's mouth that people are going to say, I don't know, because Conor, if it smells like a rat, it must be a rat, right? That's that whole kind of situation.
What is it? I think it was either Bleach Report or Bloody Elbow. They released about the fact that Conor McGregor said that he made 50 mil in the last, and they basically decipher all his money. He didn't even come close to making 50 mil. So that makes you take what he says right now
with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
And I get it.
How much of it's accurate?
Right.
How much of it is it just him puffing up his chest again and going, okay, here we go again. I'm the breadwinner. I do this. I do that.
Sean, see, while I get that, there's some truth and validity to it. But the thing that I think that I get out of what he is saying, Sean, about him drinking too much or out there partying too much, that I think is 100% truth. You get all the fame, you get all the glamour, you live the high life, the rich of the famous. At some point, it becomes a dangerous, dangerous game.
It does. And
You can lose yourself in a downward spiral.
We've seen it before, is that if you're not all in this fight game, you can quickly be all out. And the most dangerous man to be half in and half out again is Donald Cerrone. Donald Cerrone has shown the ability to outstrike a number of good strikers.
If you're not 100% in against Donald Cerrone, because you know Donald Cerrone 99.9% of the time, he's going to be all in.
You know those head kicks that he's knocked out quite a few people with? I see the men's version of what Holly Holm did to Ronda Rousey. The head kick heard around the world. That's what I'm getting a feeling I'm going to see here. And I said it, maybe a third round knockout. Our buddies from Fight Book says third round TKO. So at least we're on the same page of it's probably going to end in the third round. Unless Conor McGregor comes out overzealous.
I think the speed's too much. The accuracy will be too much. Conor McGregor's gonna go right in there, and I say it's going to be a first round knockout. Conor McGregor. I'm sorry, as much as
first round Conor McGregor. That's what Tristan's calling, not Sean. Tristan. This gentleman right here says knockout in the first round.
Really? That's what you think of that?
That's exactly what I think of your prediction on that one.
Hey, you can't be the only one that goes with bold predictions.
In this situation, I just did.
I love the fact that Conor McGregor is back in here. He's going to be more active. He's going to be the old Conor McGregor. He says this is the best fight camp he has put together. If that is true, I'm sorry. It's not going to be a good night.
Yeah, it's not going to be a good night for your bold prediction.
No, it's not going to be a good night for Holly Holm.
See,
if Holly Holm loses to Raquel Pennington, Sean, her career is done. That's a wrap.
I mean,
gloves will be laid in the center. You might as well walk away.
I get it. I mean, I get it where you're going with that one. This is a rematch, and I wrote this down. This is the women's version of the main event. You got basically a clincher versus striker.
Yeah.
Raquel Pennington's going to want to get in the clinch, grind it out, make it uncomfortable for Holly Holm, close that distance. Holly Holm's going to want to outpoint her, want to keep that distance, utilize her kicks, keep the distance, keep her at bay.
Okay, so what's scary though about Holly Holm is that, Sean, she's a point striker. Yes. She's not the girl that's going to wow you at times inside that cage.
True.
But when I look at Holly Holm, I think that she has to win this. She has to dig deep within inside herself and figure out how she can finish Raquel Pennington. Not finishing Raquel Pennington is not the answer. You have to go in there and 100% demonstrate that you are the former world champion and you have that last run in you. That's what Holly Holm has to come in and do against Raquel Pennington.
And I believe that's what we're going to get. I believe that Holly Holm is going to use her distance, outpoint striker, and just be too much for Raquel Pennington to get inside and make it a grind out victory for her. And unfortunately,
Raquel Pennington is going to have to channel her inner Rory McDonald because she got destroyed against Amanda Nunes. How fragile is her mind? Because again, combat sports, stepping inside that cage is all about your mental state.
And you're talking about mental state, and you're talking about adapting and changes. And we've always preached, evolve as a fighter. If you don't evolve as a fighter, then
the game's seriously going to leave you right behind.
It doesn't matter. And you look no further than Claudia Gadelha versus Alexa
happy I'm
Grasso.
seeing her on here.
So you look at those two, almost. One's kind of trending up and one's completely trending down. I remember when Alexa Grasso was trending so far up and everybody's like, oh, she's the next big thing, this and that and the other. And in the last 5 fights, Tristan, she's 2-3.
Yeah.
Claudia is 3-2. Kind of going in the wrong directions. However, both have lost their last fights. So essentially, these two combatants, have everything to lose. Because if Alexa Grasso loses this fight, that's 2 in a row. That's 2 in a row. Back to the drawing board. Back to the end of the line. If Claudia loses this, maybe similarities happen. She may get a title eliminator shot a lot sooner. Because if she loses, again, that's... There's a lot of questions, and when you look at this fight, it's both two grinders.
But
they don't finish fights. So either A, you're going to get the fan base that's going to cry foul and say, oh, this is a boring UFC 246. There's not a lot of action. It could very well be that way. Because the co-main event maybe, meh. Then you go down the list, and you've got Claudia Gadelha versus Alexa Grasso. And it's like, it could be meh. The only one that has probably exciting packing behind it is the fact that you got Conor McGregor versus Donald Cerrone, and then you got Chaz Kelly. Chaz Kelly isn't even on the main card. But you may hear another crazy submission heard around the world again.
Very true. But isn't it just me that UFC 246 is kind of a storybook story that is yet to be completely told?
But that's what
and by that I mean is that there's a lot of story time here between Conor McGregor and Donald Cerrone.
Absolutely.
What kind of ending? Holly Holm, Raquel Pennington, another story. How's it going to end? Claudia Gadelha, Alexa Grasso, same thing. We will get a fantasy story that will be written, and there will be an ending. Come UFC 246. Just will it be a happy ending? Who knows?
But that's what 246 has in store for everybody.
Yes.
It's going to be either unbelievable, and stories are going to be written, history is going to be written, and it's going to shape the forever future, if you will, of what we're going to get with Conor McGregor, or even what we're going to get with Donald Cerrone. Because I honestly believe whoever wins this fight, one of two things are going to happen.
Championship title.
One of them's going to get a championship title, or one of them's going to go after Jorge Masvidal. That's the next money fight. The BMF title will be on the line. And don't be surprised, folks.
As much as people say that it's one and done.
It's not. It's not.
I don't know.
You're fooling yourself.
I don't know.
Fooling yourself. Jorge Masvidal is going to be at UFC 246 and watching that winner of that fight.
Fireworks will pop off.
Mm-hmm. The only good thing is that Dylan Denis is not going to be in the corner of Conor McGregor.
So ain't nobody flying inside that cage.
So your picks for the main event are go.
Conor McGregor.
Co-main event, go.
Holly Holm.
Me, just because I like to be devil's advocate, the man, Donald Cerrone.
Wrong side.
Money side.
Money side. A side. Conor McGregor.
B side. Holly Holm.
You're going Holly Holm too?
I'm going Holly Holm. I just think she's too much for Raquel Pennington. Nothing against Raquel Pennington. I just think Holly Holm
tough girl.
Too much.
Tough girl. I just think being destroyed by Amanda Nunes is going to play a factor. Just saying. We are the new Cross Brothers, the Sports Warriors, a combat sports talk show every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Typically, unless today. What's up, everybody? So, we are the New Cross Brothers. I'm Tristan New Cross. As you can see, by our banner behind us, we are the New Cross Brothers. Cross that line. We are a new combat sports talk show trying to take over little by little.
Inch by inch.
Right? A little bit of an update. We will get our official start date on Fight. So if you have that app or you don't have that app, go ahead, download Fight. On your Android, on your Apple Store, go ahead. In the meantime, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Or follow us on Instagram at the.sports.warriors, because unfortunately, we got booted off of that, so we had to start all over.
Hashtag thank you, UFC. Appreciate that. Mad love. Subscribe to our YouTube, our iTunes. We're also on Google Play. We'll drop all the links after the show, and so you can subscribe. Go to ESPN Plus and use promo code DuCrossBros, and you can get a subscription off of that too. In the meantime, we're the DuCross Brothers.
And then
Glad to be back.
And then we've got the craziness.
Are we going there, Sean?
No, we're not going to that one yet. That'll end the show. We're going to the other craziness. The fact that Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury was officially announced with their presser yesterday. And it was one of those things that was sure filled full of great lines, quotes. I mean, like the two that stood out to me, I'll give you one. Deontay Wilder.
Don't say mine. I got mine.
Well, we'll see.
Mine's
Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury.
Chamber.
Versus Tyson Fury. Wilder says to Tyson, I'm going to knock him out. I'm the lion. I'm the king of the jungle. I'm going to rip his head off. Like, dude, seriously? The amount of time that Wilder was talking in this presser versus the first time these two combatants went at it was night and day. Because Deontay Wilder was actually having a comeback for Tyson Fury throughout the whole presser. He didn't just let Tyson Fury dictate the presser. He didn't let Tyson Fury...
Which was much different than the first time that they faced off.
Yeah, because when they faced off in the first one, it was all like Tyson Fury, like shoulder rolling around him, like, what are you going to do? And just Deontay Wilder just puffing up his chest and standing there. But no, this was a much more relaxed Wilder. This was much more like precise in his shots and his lines. Like you said a minute ago, like he had stuff lined up in a chamber and he was ready to shoot him off anytime. And then you had Tyson.
He had a 6-shooter, and every single time he spun that chamber, he had another one coming out at you.
He just kept wrapping around.
I got one.
Like every time.
The fact that Deontay Wilder was able to stand there, right there, in his face, and call him a con artist. I applaud that man for using those words. Why? Because much as our tagline says, we are not afraid to cross that line. And what I'm referencing to is the fact that I honestly believe Tyson Fury is a con artist. And why? Because go ahead. I will dissect his record. But the issue is his claim to fame, his only notoriety of why he's even in the heavyweight division or where he's at. It isn't Ruiz partying too much and getting lambasted like he did in his last fight. No. I applaud Tyson Fury for 2015. We're going to rewind because the last time that he ever fought anybody of reality was Vladimir Klitschko. And Sean, you and I talked about this. His claim to fame is Vladimir Klitschko. Do you hear him talk about anybody else that he fights? No. He always references back to 2015. Right? 2015. Why? Oh, because that's his only claim to fame.
Well, because after that defeat, we got roasted for steroids. He got
drugs.
exiled. So, yeah, of course he's going to go back. Of course he's going to go back to his claim to fame and how he got here, Tristan. But that's the thing, though, about this.
When you puff out your chest and you talk about that fight, Vladimir Klitschko, Tyson Fury, be the Marvin Hagler and Thomas Hearns fight, that's a problem if you only can do that.
But Tristan, we've talked about that too. We've talked about the fact that at the end of the day, is he a con artist? I don't see it. I think he's a smart businessman. I think he knows exactly what he's doing. And the simple fact is that he does it better than anybody else. We've talked about it. Good, bad, or indifferent. Is that in this era, this generation that we are in the fight game, it's all about entertainment value.
Absolutely. How do you sell yourself? I get it.
I can talk whether it is fake or not. As long as he believes in what he's selling to the people, then that's not him being a con artist. That's being him a smart businessman. That's being one step ahead of Deontay Wilder in that aspect.
Is it?
Because Deontay Wilder doesn't go out there and sell. Deontay Wilder lets that freaking right hand that God gave him to knock people out left and right. That's what he goes off of.
Glad you brought that up, Sean. Glad you brought that up. His hand is like Thor's hammer. He will bring it down like the thunder of God and lightning and strike him down. I get it. I remember Otto Wadlin destroying Tyson Fury. And yes, I'm saying destroy him because he gave him a nasty cut. And throughout most of the fight, Tyson Fury believed that it was a headbutt. It was never a headbutt.
Yeah.
In the 12th round, Wallin has like zero power, bro. Zero.
Yeah.
And he cracked him with the left and left him staggering and wobbling around the ring. Last time Deontay Wilder cracked him, he dropped him. He rose like the Undertaker. All the memes were around the world.
Or like Deontay Wilder said, you rose like the phoenix.
But here is the question, Sean. After that fight, insert Wallin. Guy has nothing behind any of his punches. No disrespect. To step inside the squared circle to take on Tyson Fury, you did what you did. You gassed out. It happens. But did that punch that knocked Tyson Fury to the ground and he was able to pop up and rise up, did more damage than many people thought?
Could have.
So how is the chinny chin on Tyson Fury? If he gets cracked one more time by Deontay Wilder, is he done? Is it over with? Is he able to channel his inner Undertaker or rise like the phoenix from the ashes once again? Can he do it? He's going to have to seriously figure out an alternative fight plan. Because when he comes into that squared circle and he looks across the bow and it's Deontay Wilder, Wilder expects fireworks. Does Tyson Fury expect a masterpiece like Picasso or Michelangelo that Tyson Fury's going to have to channel that to beat Deontay Wilder? And I say that because what's on the horizon is a possibility of a trilogy. But if Wilder goes in there and destroys all credibility of Tyson Fury, knocks him out, manhandles him, does what he needs to do to cement his legacy, puts down Tyson Fury, that trilogy, that money, everything that people thought Tyson Fury was is no longer. And what's on the other side of the ropes is a ring.
See,
is entertainment.
If Tyson Fury loses this fight, we have to see a third. You have to.
If it's a close fight, absolutely we have to see a third. If it's not a close fight, Sean, and it's one-sided and it's lopsided, I don't want to hear any more talk about Fury Wilder. There is no reason to have a third fight for a lopsided victory. Call it what you want. Wilder beat him the first time. Wilder does it again in the second time. What is the point of having a trilogy to say what? That you're 2-1 against the best in the world?
Well, the thing, though, is that the first fight was not definitive. It ended in a draw. So when you look back at that and you say, well,
again,
Tyson Fury says that, oh, I won that fight. Like, well, on paper, sorry, it's a draw. So this one will be a definitive win.
That's what I'm saying. If it is a definitive win from Wilder, third fight doesn't happen. If it's much like the first, if Tyson wins, yes, absolutely there's a third. If it's a close fight, I can kind of think about selling it that there's a third.
Yeah.
But if Wilder comes in there, Sean, and destroys Tyson Fury, knocks him out, just owns him all the way through, and it's a unanimous decision, and it's been a whooping from from jump to the end.
Well, Tristan,
There is no three.
What happens if Tyson Fury does what he says he's going to do? Knock him out in 2 rounds. What will happen then? What will the world think about in that moment if Deontay Wilder does in fact go down in the 2nd round?
Questions. I say questions because I have said it. As much as I applaud Deontay Wilder for what he has done for the heavyweight division, for what he is capable of doing with that God-given Thor hammer of a right hand, what I see is a guy that is not a boxing technician. He is not the best or the purest boxer. The sweet science of boxing is not there. If you get knocked out by Tyson Fury, it's because of the boxing IQ of Tyson Fury. Right? That happens. I am not talking about Tyson Fury's training regimen.
Why? It was the funniest thing ever.
Bro.
It was the funniest thing ever. My wife was laughing hysterically last night. I was texting everybody I could possibly think of, like,
yes,
bro,
type in Tyson Fury.
Yeah, just type in Tyson Fury.
Go to Google. Type in Tyson Fury.
Type in Tyson Fury. What's the first
thing
article
that pops up? It's true.
He talked about that he masturbates 7 times a day.
It gets his testosterone levels up.
Like, who has that much time?
But my question is, does he watch Deontay Wilder to do that too? To get ready for this fight?
Oh, jeez.
Yep. I went there.
Oh, my goodness. Goodness gracious.
I'm just saying.
Oh, but I bet you 10 to 1 you weren't the only one that would probably have gone there too when he said that. But it's like, who? So, how, like, what? Do you do that in between breaks? In between rounds? in between sparring rounds? Like, do you go, hold up, let me go rub one off? And then you come back? Like, how do you work out 7 times?
Dude, he is studying footage of Deontay Wilder. That's just weird. He's training and he's watching video of Deontay Wilder. That is wrong on so many levels. So many levels.
The whole time I was muted.
For me?
No, I was.
Oh, good job, Sean. I hope people can still hear you.
Hopefully. I guess we'll find out if I just screw everything up.
Good job, Sean. But yeah, Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder is going to be a good fight. Hands down. I love it. Going to be interested to see where the heavyweight boxing division goes after this. Because there's only one fight that is left lingering. Seriously,
Absolutely.
like one fight.
One fight.
One fight.
One time.
Nothing else. There is no other fight after this one that makes any logical sense except for there's a Klitschko thinking about coming back. Only time will tell for the heavyweight division. Oh, it's going to be crazy in 2020 for the heavyweight division. But we're going to go to a break, come back out. We got some interesting Antonio Brown conversation. Why would we be talking about Antonio Brown on a combat sports talk show? More with the Ducross Brothers, Sports Warriors.
Hey, fight fans, go over to Fightbook MMA on Facebook. Click on their awards because your boys right here are up for Commentators of the Year for 2019. So click on Color Commentators, Sean and Tristan Ducross. Show your love and support and get us up there. We're currently in 2nd place right now. So show us your support. Thank you, fight fans.
Ducross Brothers, a combat sports talk show Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on YouTube. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also, we'll be officially announcing our start date on Fight. So download that app and you can get us on there. We got some good stuff going. Some interesting stuff going. I kind of want to talk about this right now. Kind of do.
It's the interesting thing of that when you talk about, we discussed this, so like after the Logan Paul versus KSI and the fact that it was on the zone, the fact that Eddie Hearn was the man behind the idea of that there is a place and a home for this. Well, there is apparently a home on the zone, and now we've got Antonio Brown versus Logan Paul potentially being discussed on the zone. Apparently, Eddie Hearn and the zone have approached Logan Paul about future fights for 2020.
And it consists of boxing and mixed martial arts.
I guess when you're a YouTube sensation, you can go whichever direction you want. It was on our Instagram that somebody said that this is a celebrity death match, and I said only live action though. It's interesting.
That's where you get the eyes emoji, the rolling of the eyes. That's kind of what we need right now.
And you look at this, and this all started because of a tweet from Logan Paul saying, "I'll drop you faster than the Patriots." And then AB tweets back and says, "Swear up." And apparently, according to Logan Paul, this deal is actually further along
than many people thought it was.
Yeah.
One offer was already submitted, which prompted AB to go to Instagram at a table like he's the Godfather and say, "That's your offer? Nah, I'm good. You can send it on back." And then as of the 13th, another offer was sent in because AB hit the news for throwing a bag of fake you-know-whats at police and his baby mama. This guy's in trouble again.
This guy says getting dropped by the Patriots or the NFL has gone seriously backwards and is entering the world of media scrutiny on the levels of Mayhem Miller-esque.
Is it just me, or do you honestly think that I look at AB, right? And I look at Logan Paul. Almost the same weight.
No, not almost the same way.
Brown's 185. Logan Paul's 189.
Logan Paul weighs 15 pounds more. So is he going to drop in weight?
Right now, yes, but he fights at 189. Brown ideally would fight at his walk-around weight, which is at 185. So I ain't scared about the weight difference. I'm not scared about that.
Real athlete versus trying to be a real athlete?
Dude, he is a football player. You've seen football players fight.
But bro, dude, if you go to oddshark.com,
the odds
are ridiculous. So it started, I think, at
negative 2,000 for Paul.
Paul was the favorite.
Negative 2,000.
It was like minus 100. And then you've got Antonio Brown that was like a plus 275. As of yesterday, Paul has jumped up to a favorite of a minus 450, while Brown is still at a plus 275.
Yeah. Oddshark, though, it was funny because when they immediately got in this, they jumped in, and Oddshark said, "I got the first overall line." It was negative 2,000 for what's his face for Paul, and a plus 1,000 for Antonio Brown. And I was like, Oddshark, you guys are hilarious. Like, did you just have a guy that was trolling the internet and trying to find something that saw Logan Paul and Antonio Brown going at it on Twitter, and we're like, yes!
But now the odds are kind of reasonable.
Yep.
From them. But
because the reality of this fight actually happening is a lot further than many people thought it was.
Probably about 80% true.
Right.
But what was interesting, too, is that then AB goes, "Really? Not the favorite? I see how it is. I sure hope you see how it is, AB."
AB's not a fighter. Not a fighter. So why would you give the professional football player
real athlete versus somebody who's
trying to be one?
Yeah. I'm more likely to put my money on AB and put him in a real camp with real training regimen. Probably going to see a better thing. But that's the thing with AB.
I think of AB going into boxing like I think Chad Johnson going to the XFL as a kicker.
But again, Tristan, that again makes sense. I'm trying to figure out where your logic is going.
Because I don't think Chad Johnson can do it, for one. And I don't think Antonio Brown can go in there and dominate Logan Paul, who is actually trying to actually make something out of a suspect boxing career.
Tristan.
I don't think Antonio Brown can.
Apparently, again, you don't know about Chad Johnson. Chad Johnson is a soccer player. He's played soccer. It's always been widely discussed that he can kick. He kicked in the NFL a couple times. He's a soccer player. He's done it before. He showed that he could. He's been all over YouTube kicking field goals. So it's the same thing. There is some type of background in which that I would put my chips in Antonio Brown's basket as an athlete to be able to make the transition. It's just like the transition. I'm trying to figure out how we got from Jake Paul versus AnEson Gibb, because here's a kicker. So AnEson Gibb, you guys are going to have a field day with this one, folks.
Content creator.
Is that AnEson Gibb means big nose, nah.
Yep.
That's what his gamer tag means. And you talk about the Paul brothers, and you talk about where we're at. You've got Logan Paul and Antonio Brown going after the biggest draw out there. Then you got Jake Paul and AnEson Gibb going down January 30th, 2020. AnEson Gibb is a FIFA YouTuber.
Yes.
You got Jake Paul, who is essentially, his claim to fame is the fact that he released a song on YouTube that got the most dislikes ever. His song called...
This is true.
Where was it? It's Every Day, bro. Got disliked 4.5 million dislikes.
Yes.
Bro, your song must be really bad.
I haven't even listened to that, but please, if you guys could, I don't know how my brother feels about this. I know that we've kind of hinted about it numerous amount of times, but hey, we're on YouTube. Go ahead. Hit that thumbs up. Get us a couple likes. Dude, I want Logan Paul and Jake Paul versus the Ducross brothers. How about that? Logan Paul, Jake Paul, real brothers versus real brothers. Let's see. Because if Antonio Brown can, based off of your logic, can do it, so can we.
But then we've got to get backing like Paul and the Paul brothers do, because Jake Paul for this one is being trained by Shane Sugar Mosley.
Dude, we have plenty of people that would train us. Get us ready. You say, give me a full fight camp, and I can take on Logan Paul or Jake Paul. Sign me up.
But that means
give me a thumbs up. Let's go. I will say, hey, work. I am taking a little leave of absence. I'll be right back.
But Tristan, those brothers are like 6 feet tall. They're almost 200 pounds. We are 5'9", like 150, 160. Like, what? There's no way we blew him up to 185.
In the immortal words of Ryback, feed me more. Do not care. Do not care. This is celebrity stuff. This is like a 6-round boxing fight or a MMA fight for 2 rounds. Bro, good. Logan Paul, Jake Paul, Ducross brothers, Tristan Ducross, at least me. Calling you out. Give me a thumbs up. Let's go.
Oh my goodness, you're crazy.
I can be crazy like a fox. I can be.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, everybody wants the piece of the Paul brothers. Apparently, they're the next thing in combat sports when the money talks.
Apparently, the new celebrity idea of let's compete and then we could get signed to the zone and we can go ahead and compete on a high level. We knew this just was coming. We knew it was just a matter of time and was just a matter of choice. So it's going to be interesting to see how the future holds and which direction this is going to go after this fight happens on January 30th in Miami.
I mean, the list goes on for the amount of people that are lining up to fight Logan Paul.
Right?
Like, whether you are an athlete, not an athlete, a radio host. And see, that's kind of why I threw my name out there, is because, dude, radio hosts are throwing their names out for Logan Paul. Like, if a radio host can throw out his name and say, I want to fight Logan Paul, then, well, a YouTuber, fellow YouTuber, combat sports guy, yes, I want to fight with Logan Paul or Jake Paul. In that list now, in that category, you hear it right here first.
Throwing it out there.
January 15th, 2020, yo boy, Tristan Ducross, calling out the Paul brothers. I'm falling in line. So anybody that's watching...
Are you ready to cross that line?
Yes, absolutely. 100%. 2020, the dawn of a new age of combat sports.
Let's take a quick break and then we'll come right back.
Absolutely. But Sean, before that, I just got to tease this real quick.
Okay.
What is this man's legacy? More of the Ducross brothers right after this.
Hey, fight fans, go over to Fightbook MMA and click on Fightbook MMA Awards. We've got until the 18th. Your boys are up for a color commentator of the year for 2019. Click on it. Click on Sean and Tristan Ducross. Show us some love and some support here as we are in second place. We're trying to get to that number one. You know, don't vote for the guys that are up here. Vote for the little guys. The big guys always get a chance at claiming awards. It's time for the little guy.
Fight for the little guys. We are the Ducross Brothers Sports Warriors. Every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on YouTube and soon to be on Fight. So if you have the app, cool. Look for your boys, Ducross Brothers. If not, go to your Apple Store or your Android phone, your Google Play, and download Fight. And you'll get your boys live right there on Fight. We are the Ducross Brothers. I'm Tristan Ducross. This is my brother, Sean Ducross. A couple shout outs here. ESPN Plus. Get our link on Facebook. Just search Ducross Brothers. You can get the link right there for our subscription details. Subscribe to our YouTube channel right here. Subscribe us on iTunes. Also, we're on Google Play. So in the meantime, enjoy your podcast with your boys, the Ducross Brothers. Sean, topic of conversation, Terence Crawford.
Why? Because he called out Earl Spence Jr.?
Yes, so I started doing a little bit of thinking, a little bit of a thought.
Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing.
Absolutely.
We'll find out.
Absolutely. Because Terence Crawford, a.k.a. Bud, had an amazing fight last time out. Liked it, right? Good job. If he can't get Earl Spence, because Earl Spence is out for a little bit of time, he wants Pacquiao. I understand why he wants Spence. I understand why he wants Pacquiao. I get it. I understand it. To have back-to-back title fights would mean exactly what my headline down there says. What is Terence Crawford's legacy? Well, simple. Bud's legacy goes through the roof a little bit more. He becomes a notable name, a name that many people had for a while, that he was pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world.
He still kind of is.
See, you said kinda.
Well, just because he's
I love the fact that you said kinda, and it falls into my narrative because in the last 6 years, he has fought nobody.
Yeah, because he's fought some of the top guys, and I say some of the top guys because he's missed out on some big fights because of who he signed with. Because isn't he signed with Top Rank?
Yes.
Top Rank doesn't have a lot of the bigger name fighters.
Not just that, is that they try to build up his stigma.
He's good. He's really good.
He's really good. But I call this the Floyd Mayweather syndrome.
Yeah.
And I say that because they're trying to keep him undefeated. So false narrative? Maybe just a little bit.
They're smart in who they select.
Exactly. Smart in who they put in front of him. Smart in terms of keeping his O intact.
But at some point,
but
Terence
now,
Crawford, like he says, he wants to fight the best.
Because at 32 years old, Sean, he doesn't have much left in the tank.
But it's interesting that he goes after a guy that subsequently, we don't know if or when he's going to ever return back to boxing and what type of fighter he's going to be.
Exactly. And then you throw out Manny Pacquiao's name, and don't get me wrong, he's a world champion. Again, a world champion.
I guess I wouldn't mind to see that one because stylistically,
It makes sense.
Yes.
Absolutely. But he's turned down a fight against Sean Porter like a year ago. There's so many people that are chomping at the bit to get at Crawford. Top Rank or Crawford are denying everybody's opportunity to take on Crawford. So to me, that hurts his legacy and what he is trying to build. What he's trying to accomplish in the boxing world. Saying no to top fights hurts your legacy. I don't care about that. Oh, I care about who you fight.
Yeah, because look at Julio Cesar Chavez. He didn't care about his oath. He cared about the quality of fights.
And
That's
how
why the
many
guy had
fights
won.
that guy can get.
And that guy won over 100 fights.
There's been no, in your words, an oh my God moment in the legacy building of Crawford. And I think that at some point, Sean, getting Earl Spence, getting Manny Pacquiao, getting past them will give him that oh my God moment or a ha ha moment. And it could cement his legacy as being one of the best to ever do it.
So
But there's still question marks about Crawford. And Crawford would probably say right now that, hey, you just hating. Maybe so. He says haters need to keep on hating. I get it. We've been in the same boat, bro. People hate on us for what we do or how we talk or how we do certain things. But we've always been told, if you ain't got haters, you ain't trying hard enough. And if you keep talking about Crawford, his name stays in the headlines.
good, bad, or indifferent.
In the spotlight, shining down. You keep talking, you keep that name coming out of your mouth. He's just going to keep fueling that fire. And I applaud him for doing that because it's not him saying no, it's his management team. You can only fight who your management team puts in front of you. So Crawford has the opportunity now in front of him to change his own legacy, to cement his own legacy in the welterweight division. The WBA super welterweight titles right there waiting for him. Spence's IBF WBC welterweight titles right there waiting for him. All he has to do is knock down that door and go right through it. But is Top Rank going to stop him? That's where my question is. It's not solely on Crawford. Management team plays a factor, Sean. Danny Garcia fights for PBC. Might never happen. Great fight. So many question marks for Terence Bud Crawford. And I look forward for 2020 to see what is on the horizon for him. We are the New Cross Brothers. That is it for us.
A little bit of a quicker show, but we'll be back next week once again. And stay tuned for us on fight.tv for our start date.
Absolutely. We are the New Cross Brothers. I'm Tristan New Cross. This is my brother Sean New Cross. We are the New Cross Brothers.
Go to Fight Book.
Cross that line. Go to Fight Book
on
MMA.
Facebook.
Yep.
And vote for us for their awards underneath color commentators.
Something completely
Tristan and
different.
Sean Ducross.
Something completely different, Sean.
Yeah,
Because
'cause-
usually we're a podcast, combat
we're
sports talk show first. Since we started doing color commentary for IE Fight Night, be on the lookout. Some big news with them coming up too.
Also, make sure that you vote for them too underneath MMA promotion on Fight Book's awards as well.
Yes, absolutely. So go ahead, subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to us on iTunes. We will drop all the links down in it.
Follow us again on Instagram at the.sports.warriors because, yeah, they deleted our account.
Thank you, UFC. As we're signing off, we're the New Cross Brothers.
Let's get it on.
Sprawl and brawl, ground and pound. Get ready for an MMA showdown. Now, the ultimate Octagon Insider, Sean and Tristan Ducross.